Hi, my name's Helen Carty and I'm one of the SRUC vets, and part of my role is to sit on the BVD advisory group. So I spend a lot of time looking at BVD results and advising farmers and vets how to sort out the herd's BVD status. So we're entering phase 6 of the BVD eradication scheme, but what progress have we made so far? Before the scheme started, surveys estimated that 40% of breeding herds in Scotland had BVD active in their herds. With annual testing now compulsory for all breeding herds in Scotland, and action encouraged to ensure that if there are virus positive animals that they're removed, we've managed to remove over 7,000 virus positive calves from the national herd, and currently on ScotEID 8% of herds have a not negative status. So we've managed to reduce estimated exposure from 40 right down to about 8%, so we've made great progress. Now, currently on ScotEID there are around 23 known virus positive calves on about 11 holdings, and only 4 of those holdings have retained virus positive animals for 40 days. So it's really encouraging that on the whole, when people identify virus positive animals, they're removing them from the herd quickly so that they're no longer posing a risk to the national herd. So clearly in these herds where virus positive animals have been identified, we know that BVD is active in these herds. But of the other herds, not all of them will have BVD currently in the herd, and herds might just have a not negative status, perhaps because their testing is late, maybe their annual herd test is lapsed by a couple of months, or perhaps if their herds are tissue tagging to try to get their status, maybe 1 or 2 tags have been missed because of insufficient sample. Another reason a herd might lapse into a not negative status would be if they've brought in what's known as a risky animal. It's an animal from a herd that we don't know the BVD status of. If you don't test that for BVD virus within 40 days, then your herd will lapse into a not negative status. So it's really important that you look just now on ScotEID to make sure you know what your herd status for BVD is. And if you're currently sat with a not negative status, discuss it with your vet and figure out what testing you need to do to get that negative status back. If, for example, you do antibody testing, you do a young stock check test, perhaps you had one young animal that tested antibody positive, that animal could perhaps get retested, because if that positive result was due to maternally derived antibody that's just slowly declining, antibody from the colostrum, then perhaps on retest that would be negative and you can get your negative status back. So look now on ScotEID to check what your status is, and if it's not negative, act now. So what's next in phase 6? Well, the main measures come into effect on the 1st of February, so you've got a little while before that takes place. And these are to minimise the effect that calves born from Trojan cows can have, and also to minimise the impact that herds undergoing compulsory BVD investigations not completing their testing can have. So first off, the Trojan cows. What is a Trojan cow? Well, it's not possible to know the BVD status of a calf in utero, and that means that if you buy in a pregnant animal, it could give birth to a BVD virus positive calf, and that would be a way that BVD could be brought into your herd. And so from the 1st of February, it's compulsory that all calves born from bought-in animals are tested for BVD virus within 40 days. That means that we'll know as quick as possible if a virus-positive animal has been born, and we'll be able to remove that. This is compulsory from the 1st of February, but it'd be great for you to start doing that with immediate effect so that the risks to your herd are minimised. So what about CBI herds? CBI stands for compulsory BVD investigation, and this is what's imposed on herds that have had a not negative status for 15 months. So if you get a not negative status, within about a year, it should be possible for you to sort out what's going on and get a negative status back. For herds that sit on that not negative status for 15 months, they get a CBI put on them, which means that they must get a virus result against every single animal in their herd. And that can either be by individually testing them, or for cows, if their calf has a virus negative result, then that assumed negative status gets applied back to their dam, because a virus positive cow always gives birth to a virus positive calf. So the assumed negative status can be really helpful in that instance. So in phase 6 from the 1st of February, if a herd is sat on a CBI for 13 months, so that means they've had 28 months to try to get their status sorted. If that CBI is not complete, then those holding numbers will be publicly listed on ScotEID, and there will be restrictions applied to that herd, meaning that movements cannot come onto the herd. So this measure is really to encourage herds that are sat in a CBI to take action, to understand why they're in a CBI and to do the necessary testing to get their negative status back. So a few other measures took effect from the 1st of July, and these are outlined on the leaflet to which there's a link below, and this leaflet has been sent to all farmers in Scotland. So to make it easier to test the calves born from Trojan cows, a management tag can be used to test for BVD virus in an animal of any age. We'll also put a grace period of 40 days when a virus positive animal has been identified to allow for retesting to determine whether a virus positive is a persistently infected animal or a transiently infected animal. There'll be a 40-day period to allow that to happen before restrictions are put on movements onto herds that have virus positive animals. And the final measure that took effect on the 1st of July is that if a virus positive animal is identified in a non-breeding herd, then the same restrictions apply to that as apply to a breeding herd. So virus positive animals must be housed separately, and if they are retained for over 40 days, then that holding number will be listed on ScotEID. So the message is still the same. If you identify a virus positive animal, you can retest it to see whether it is persistently or transiently infected. If they're confirmed as persistently infected, they really should be removed from the herd as soon as possible. So I hope that explains the new measures that are coming into effect with the phase 6 of the BVD eradication scheme, and outlines the great progress that we've all made to date, but we really need to keep that effort up. Finally, can I just encourage you to take part in a survey that's being run by my colleagues in SRUC Research in collaboration with the University of Nottingham. They're running a project that is coming up with a modelling system that incorporates the BVD eradication programmes for all of the 4 UK nations. And vets and farmers across England, Wales and Northern Ireland are really interested in knowing the experience that we've had in Scotland of the progress that we've made to date. So if you can spare 15 minutes to fill out this survey on the QR code that's here, it would be really very much appreciated.